Disco is not dead. Disco is life. It's 1999. Universal Pictures present a new League of Heroes that have stepped into a different beat. They're not your classic heroes. They're the other guys. We've got a date with Destiny, and it looks like she's ordered the lobster. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 86, Mystery Men.
Superman.
Welcome to you all. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 86, where we turn our spotlight onto Mystery Men. I'll be your host this evening. My name is Brett Summers, and joining me as always will be
Damien Hicks.
And Paul Hawkins. You're sounding very chipper.
Well,
You're most definitely when you're doing the intro, but you know.
well, it's exciting times.
We've been away for a week. Not away. We've been away from the microphones for a week.
Yeah, no, we're
Well, 2
back
weeks,
now.
I guess.
We're back now. It's exciting times. We're back rolling on a regular schedule after being ill over Christmas, and this cold's not even holding me down tonight.
But it's not
Oh,
regular.
about that. I might have a work thing next week, but
More on that later.
So we're doing every other week.
we'll see. If I can get out of it, I will.
Might need to update TikTok.
We're almost regular, like many of you listeners.
Syrup of figs.
So, what's been happening, guys? Paul, what's been happening? Has it been a special time for you?
I haven't identified as being anything else other than a man. But no, I have been getting older, like we all have. But I've just been celebrating another cycle around the sun. So yeah, went away to Devon.
You are.
I didn't drink any cider, although weirdly enough, coming
Did
out.
you recognise all the bird calls you were hearing because of your research the other week?
Well, I only really heard seagulls
Okay.
at like 4:30 in the morning.
Yep, they'll do that.
Bastards. Yeah. But okay. So in my head all weekend, one song because we were in Devon. Literally coming back home. Yeah, we're going through the big hills, and I was going to say mountains, but that would be a bit of a
Exaggeration.
Umfla,
Yeah.
Heidi,
hills.
Umfla.
where you lose some of the signal. But then it's she's got a CD player.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought,
Feeder.
well, that's quite apt. You know, get a house in Devon.
Yep.
But-
Oh, yes.
But we're leaving now. So, you know, if I'd have had that on the way there, it would have been, yay.
You might have bought a house
Well, I probably wouldn't have.
in Devon. I
Although
know.
saying that, some of the houses, because I did look. Yeah, when they were in bed or on like the Saturday night or whatever, and I was staying up watching a certain film, which I'll talk about in a minute. I was looking at house prices.
Porn?
I'm like, no.
Oh,
No.
sorry, I completely misunderstood.
So someone else's Wi-Fi. I wouldn't do that to them, unless I was desperate. So yeah, I was looking at houses. Some are all right, actually. It looks like it's a mix between like quite cheap and then Bruce Wayne's manor. But yeah. So nice
Yeah,
long
they were.
weekend away.
And,
Which one were you
Escape to
going
the-
for?
Well, you know me, Brett. Which one do
As
you
long as
think?
it's got a cave
I
under
say
it.
it's their
Exactly.
back cave.
Sorry, David, you were saying.
I was just going to say I was watching an episode of I don't know what's it, Escape to the Country, Runaway to whatever it's called,
Escape to the country.
and they were in Devon. They were in North Devon. Oh, well, you were in North Devon,
I was
actually,
in
weren't
North
you? Yeah,
Devon.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you're right. They were doing this like they do a little snippet of if your budget's like this. These people had like £1 million budget, so it's like they're those annoying people that want everything, but then they do a little snippet of. You know, if your budget's not quite there, these
Yeah,
are the
yeah,
300, these are the 400, and
Yeah, so
even close to the sea, they were reasonable. I can't speak.
reasonably.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Christ.
Isn't that a bad thing now if you're close to the sea?
No, I mean like close to, as in not on the edge. I meant, but
Oh,
within
okay.
walking distance of the beach
And,
or
and lots of the
Not on a cliff.
coast, not on a cliff. No.
well, it depends. Depends if it's like a good cliff. You don't want one of the ones that.
The only good cliff is in
road.
Cheers.
Yeah, so it was a cool weekend, long weekend. The weather was a bit misty and blustery, but that was cool too. Yeah, we were walking along Willicombe Beach, and it looked like something off Interstellar or something. You know, almost lost the dog, and the dog almost lost us a few times because it was running
Oh,
around, couldn't work out where we are. But
Better luck next time.
yeah, try my best.
Yeah, I didn't dive after it. No, that's cool. And Damien, you've been looking at houses in other areas or trying to lose
No,
your
I
dog?
haven't. I just happened to see that telly very, it's the afternoon. I have had nowhere near an exciting couple of weeks. Went for a curry about 2 weeks ago, but you were both there, so you know all about that.
I was going to say you didn't get food poisoning this time,
No,
but I was there with you there.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's about it. Was going to go to a tribute band for Guns N' Roses
Oh, yeah, I
last
was gonna
Saturday,
ask you
and I
guys
completely
about that.
forgot about it, so didn't go.
Oh, okay.
Didn't remember until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then by that
I
point, I
went
was
in
in that
dope-
kind of Saturday afternoon.
Can't be asked.
Can't be asked to do anything.
I can't be getting my going out clothes on.
No, I was already contemplating what I'm having for dinner and what time I can go to bed.
I was there being
Rock
welcome
and
to the
roll.
jungle and all the other ones. Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I definitely, yeah, it was a long weekend on that stag do. Shout out to Andy.
Oh, you survived. I forgot it was a stag do.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't have your medical thing to worry about this week, did you?
Nope.
Oh, how did that go?
It was all right.
So,
but
listeners.
it turns out they don't put your finger in your ass anymore.
Oh, that's good. To
You
know.
get a leaflet about it.
Oh, I
but-
thought
but
you get a
is
leaflet
it
up there
got-
instead.
Does it have instructions on how to do it yourself?
Now, really, Brett, you're a grown man. You should know how to wipe yourself. But here's a leaflet. I will help you.
Yeah, I probably should read the leaflet. It's still on the side.
Hold on. What? You seriously have to examine yourself?
Oh no, they gave me a leaflet. I it's got like,
But
a UN prostate cancer or something like that. And so it's, it gripped me with the title. But if it just had a better picture, I might have picked up and
To be
read
fair,
it to
they
the
can do it
end.
with blood tests, don't they? With this, like
Yeah.
your T count and stuff like that, isn't it?
That's what I mean. I've got all that come through.
If we don't hear from Brett in a while, he's just
What-
he's
what-
really reading that leaflet.
What was interesting was, let's not laugh about something like that. But what was really interesting about
I found it, Mum.
why are you laughing that I get cancer? That's not very nice.
No, not that. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Have we gone dead? Oh no, we've gone quieter.
No.
Oh, I was just sorry. Could
Have
been
you
my-
gone? Can you not hear us?
Not as loud as it was.
No, it is. It is loud. It's loud in my ears.
It was
I
loud.
wouldn't-
It was louder in my ears, but it's not now.
I wasn't
Just-
sure whether Damien turned it down.
Oh, there we go. I'm back now. Right.
Because I was laughing so much. Now I'm quieter.
What was I going to say?
I'm not touching anything. Well, I am. I'm,
Yeah, you are. You literally are touching things.
I am now. Is that better?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So basically, what was interesting was like I said, okay, they took like 2 pints or 2 syringes out my arm.
2 pints.
It was like, well, it's 2 big syringes. I've got a bruise and everything.
Oh.
And I said, oh, what's next? She said, well, normally we text you in like a week to 10 days. She said, if you get a text sooner, it's normally really bad. So basically, she said, so no news is good news. I was like, oh, cool. Thanks for that.
Turn your notifications off
Yeah.
for 10 days.
Yeah.
So that was on Wednesday. I'm nearly at Wednesday, so I'm taking it that like no news is good news.
Yeah, fair enough.
Beep beep.
Yeah. I wish I had
touching
a
word.
text message ready
Yeah.
just to send right then.
Yeah, but it's nearly a week now. But normally it's in about 2 days. You would get like a
Yeah.
You need to come and see us now. And what was cool though when they do my blood pressure, they had to go and get the other thing because it couldn't go.
Just
my
you
arm
wouldn't
was
go
too
round your
big.
guns.
Yeah, the guns were too big. But she looked at it and went, that can't be right. And I was like, oh, what? Am I okay? She went, yeah, it's your blood pressure. And then she went, wait there. And she went out and came back in the other one. She went, oh, yeah, that's better. That's what it is. And it was like, and they even done the height thing. You know, like when you're at school, I'm now mimicking the hand going up and down. I need to put a bit of wood on
yeah.
your head. I even had to do that.
What, just in case you'd grown since last time?
I guess.
No,
Or
it's your
maybe 'cause
BMI,
it-
isn't it? It'll be
It's, yeah, it
Oh,
should be
okay.
BMI.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, she wouldn't trust you just to know how high you are.
I don't know
Oh.
how tall I am.
What?
I said 6 foot, and she went, well, it says 5'11". I know 6 foot, love. So I ain't got my shoes on, have I? And but she did say, yeah, according to BMI, I might be, slightly over what I should be. And then I did point out that according to BMI, Sylvester Stallone is severely obese because due to his height and weight. And then she said, yeah, BMI is a bit odd, but that's what we have to use.
Yeah,
So
it's not, yeah.
I justified that one. It's like being in court. You have to justify all the decisions of your body.
Cool.
Yeah, but it was fun, and so far so good. Tune in next week
Yeah.
to see if I'm dying. Anyone else been doing anything? Anyone else put a finger up their arse or anything?
No,
No.
I haven't got that leaflet.
No more than usual.
Not even on your birthday.
No leaflet. No fingers.
Anyone else?
No,
No, you're down in Cornwall.
Devon.
Yeah.
Don't say that they're all the same because you might have just alienated
Civil War.
several different
Hey,
listeners.
I've seen the black flag with a white cross on. I know what it stands for. Yeah, okay then. So, what we've been watching? Did you get to watch much in Cornwall?
Well,
Devon. He's been to Devon. He hasn't been to Cornwall.
It's the same place.
Right. Okay. So they didn't have cable or anything like that. So we only had what was on the free channels on Sky. So I think after days of frivolity and coming back after the pub,
I haven't seen those.
if I'd have stayed up, I think I watched Geostorm with Gerard Butler again, just because it was on. It was rubbish the first time. It was even worse the
I
second
don't
time.
think I would ever watch that.
But Saturday,
Ooh, he's
Oh.
building up here. He's building up.
Mm.
Lost Boys was on telly.
It was.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I literally just stayed up and watched that. Yeah, it's weird because over the years it's obviously been on lots, and I've just gone, no, I'm not in the mood. No. But where it's only thing on,
yeah,
it's
yeah, no choice.
I'm watching that, and then literally got sucked into it. Watched the whole thing, loved it.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
Got sucked into it.
Rather than sucked off of it. I guess.
Get your mind out of the gutter. This honestly, what's happened to you?
It's just an
You-
opposite.
You've gone to the doctor.
And guess what he told me? He said, boy, I've got to learn to have fun.
No matter what you do.
I know.
Yeah, okay,
But
yeah,
he's a fool.
but that's what I watched in Devon.
Cool.
See, I watched The Lost Boys.
But before we went to Devon,
Oh,
okay,
here
so
we
this
go.
is Marmite.
He's got a list.
Yeah.
So
He's always
Damien-
got a list.
Damien's not going to be
I
interested.
don't think he works for a living.
It's at night time. So night before we go to Devon, obviously no work in the morning. We didn't have to get up early. Said to Shell, do you want to watch the new series or an episode of the new series of Clarkson's Farm? So we watched the whole series before we went away. Everything. The whole series on that one night. As I said, you two won't be interested
No.
because you don't like Jeremy Clarkson.
I'm
But
just checking. Are you out? Was that your vape? Because loads of smoke just came across. I was
Yeah.
like, it's my laptop catching fire.
It
I
sounds
don't
like
think
check
so.
it.
or he's
Just
fi-
check it.
or he's fine.
Because it looked like it just came up from there, and it was just like, is it the plugs? No, that's okay. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so Clarkson's Farm did the whole of the season. Really good. But obviously, if you don't like Jeremy Clarkson, it's not the program for you. But I like watching.
I don't necessarily have anything against him.
Does he
I
hit
just-
anyone?
No.
I've heard he's getting arsey because he wasn't given planning permission for his farm shop, but
Oh my god, I've
a
seen
field
that one.
adjacent to him got permission for a cafe or something like that.
But they're not giving him permission for anything
I saw that, and everyone was
Eve-
parked up the road, weren't they? And it was
because
all
they had
muddy.
nowhere to park.
I don't know.
yeah.
That's
why,
all I know.
Why have I seen that?
I don't know. Maybe it's probably a headline on BBC, the same as me. I just thought,
maybe Gogglebox or something.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
they
it could
showed
be.
a clip because I wouldn't
Yeah.
have actively watched that.
no.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've seen
There's
that.
been a fair few clips on. Yeah, but they won't let him even build a track on his own land to get
No.
tractors or vehicles from one bit to the other. And so yeah, it's great that he's using the powers that be of media to basically slag off the council. And they've tried to defend themselves online as well since it's been released, but everyone just hates
To no
them.
avail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're wasting taxpayers' money and not giving Clarkson what he wants. But yeah, so we did that. Came back and we started watching season 4 of You.
Didn't
Which one's
Just
you?
didn't.
Which one's you
this
again?
You
one
is
is
the-
a stalkery one, isn't it?
Well, yeah, he's a serial killer stalker guy. He basically builds up an instant attraction to
Oh,
women.
was that the one like? And he had a wife at one point.
Yeah, and she's dead.
I remember that at the beginning because then didn't she kill someone as well or something? It's probably spoilers.
Well,
I don't
then
know. I
was-
think
so
I did
in-
about 2 episodes.
Wasn't
and
there
got
something
bored.
with the neighbours and then the wife got stuck in as well?
Yeah, so in season 3, the last season, his wife is a bit of a head case as well, and also had Jenna Ortega in You as well. So that's why it's also doing well. She's not in the last series, but yeah, it's a big old series. The nice thing about season 4, so he's on the run now, presumed dead in a fire, but he was hunting down the girl he was obsessed with the last season. Anyway, what they've done, which is nice change, is they've kind of changed the slant of the season, so it's not him being obsessed with one person per se, and then getting together with her and all that kind of stuff. It's more the fact that now it's a whodunit. So somebody's dead. They tried to blame it on him without knowing he's a fucking psycho. He basically gets rid of the body and he's being watched. So now the person that's killed the person, I don't want to give anything away, is trying to find out him and his backstory because he's been lying, obviously, because he's supposed to be dead. And now it's like,
It sounds like EastEnders.
so the guy's trying to track down who the killer is. So it's a nice slant,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't think it's still going to make me watch.
and it's set in
4
England,
seasons.
which is good. And apparently, it's a juxtaposition between season 3 and also Death in Paradise. I'm just trying to sell it to you guys.
There's a crossover.
Yeah, but it's good so far. Yeah, liking it.
Oh, fair play.
So I just finished off. I've got one thing less as opposed to coming back to me.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
And so started watching Warrior Nun
Ah,
because Damien went on about it and it's been
Uh,
renewed, hasn't
to
it?
say it, no.
I thought
There's
you
2
said-
series. That's it. I think.
Oh, but it ends.
I don't remember.
Okay.
You know what I'm like.
Yeah.
But it's still good. It's still worth watching.
Yeah, no, it is. I don't mind it at all. It's done.
I don't necessarily think it's been cancelled. All I know is that there was 2 seasons, and
Right.
I haven't seen anything to say there's going to be a third.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as Lockwood and Co. or
No.
Wednesday, but it's good. And it's different because it's about nuns and religion
And
and
Warriors.
hell and stuff.
Demons and
Yeah, cool.
It's me done now.
Okay. Damien.
yeah. So Emily was adamant that she wanted to watch the Paw Patrol movie,
Din, 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 din.
so I relented and signed up for Paramount Plus because that is the only place.
That's the only reason you got it.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus.
I-
Was it a 30-day free
So-
trial or anything?
So you
it is a
signed up-
30, but
Oh,
I'll
okay,
probably
cool.
stick because there's
Can I-
quite a lot on there, isn't there?
Can we just confirm that you've now signed up to Paramount Plus because you wanted to watch the Paw Patrol movie?
Not I wanted to watch. Emily wanted. My
Emily's his
relationship with Paw Patrol is I know the theme tune and that's it.
Paw Patrol.
So you-
Paw
so you're-
Patrol.
Your wife wanted to watch Paw. No, it's your daughter. We're just having a funny jab in the ribs here.
So yeah.
Any
and
good?
What, the Paw Patrol? I haven't watched it.
So you haven't even watched it yet. You signed up for it. You didn't even
No,
sit
I
for
haven't watched it. Emily's watched it. I
Did
Was
you-
was
didn't watch
she
it with her?
happy with it?
have no idea.
Oh my god! Wake her up.
Saturday
We'll get
afternoon.
her to do the bloody review,
she
shall
wanted
we?
to watch it on Saturday afternoon, so off she went on a tablet and watched that.
But she sat and watched it. She
put
didn't like
soccer
come...
sports, Sky Sports on and watched the drama of the Premier League unfold in front of my very eyes.
Win-win.
Yeah, it
But
quite literally
she's-
was win-win because Saints actually
Yeah.
won.
But she did sit there and watched it and was happy.
Well, I think she fell asleep, but that's kind of par
Yeah.
for the course.
So like father, like daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, she
You
likes
could've
Paw
put Tron
Patrol
on.
because it's like 10 minutes or something. No, I don't think it's
Yeah.
even that. It's 5. A whole Paw Patrol film she's not gonna. I don't think she sat and watched it. She's probably watched it now in
In bits.
various
like, yeah.
bits.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that leads me on to. I
Ooh.
will dismiss all the other stuff. Vera, we don't talk about.
We don't talk about Vera.
We don't talk about Silent Witness.
Oh no, that
it
is still
still
going,
on?
isn't it?
Yeah, it's
it's
still
just
going,
a new
yeah.
series.
They do like 3 stories over the course of.
Are we at the point where Dennis Waterman's in it? Oh no, he's not.
He's,
He's dead.
no,
isn't he?
he's not going to be in it. No.
Is he who they found? Sorry, Dennis. Your wife beating scum.
No, so we don't talk about that. But on Paramount Plus, have you heard of Le Brer?
So what?
Le Brer?
Love
Is that
Bruh.
the foreign detective he did?
No,
No.
no.
Keep going.
So you know Le Brer tar pits
Is this
I think
No.
I went
The
out on one.
dinosaur
in Los
things.
Angeles?
Did we
yeah
go,
that are in the end of Thingy Bob?
End of thingy
the
bob.
Brer Tar Pits, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they were in the end of
Did we not go
Miracle
out?
Mile.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
we go out with her? La Brer Tar Pit. She's
Anyway.
a supermodel.
So, Le Brer, 2 seasons. First season we've now watched. Premise is a massive sinkhole opens up in Los Angeles. Funnily enough, right near Le Brer tar pits.
So they fill it in with the tar.
No.
Job done.
So there's all death and destruction, as you can imagine. So while officials and rescue teams are all dealing with that chaos, we're transported to 10,000 BC
So what?
or BCE.
Hold on, is this the one with Adam Driver?
No,
Or someone.
no. I
Oh,
didn't bother
that's a
writing
film
down
coming
anyone
out.
who's in it because then none
Okay.
of them are famous.
Oh, okay.
So all the people, well, most of the people that have fallen through said sinkhole now find themselves in 10,000 BC.
Is there also a helicopter there with 2 people hugging in the back?
No, but that would have been cool, wouldn't it? They might do that for season 2, but I mean, I think there's not that many people that have watched Miracle Mile. But yeah.
Oh, it's got Iona Sky in it.
Briefly,
Okay.
very briefly. So then, yeah, we're following the trials and tribulations of them as they're trying to survive and figure out the mystery of how they've ended up there.
So it's 10,000 BC, so
No dinosaurs. It's
No
not
dino-
dinosaurs. I haven't seen any yet, but
Well,
it's,
there's
it's
not gonna
woolly
be if
mammoth
it's
time. No,
yeah.
let me finish the sentence. I haven't seen any yet, but 10,000 BC is woolly mammoth kind
Yeah,
of period, isn't it?
Saber-tooth.
So
and...
there is saber-toothed tigers.
Cool.
Which they shouldn't be called because they're not cats. But anyway, we won't get into that. So it's a really good, interesting premise. There's lots of twists and turns, and there's a mystery.
What's the budget like on this?
What you would expect for a TV drama. This is where I was going.
Right.
So
okay.
the script is clunky. There's lots of, but how are we going to do that? And lots of dramatic pauses. And budget-wise, you can see the explosions have been superimposed on,
Right.
like in Doctor Who, and the saber-toothed tigers look like computer game.
Do they look
saber-toothed
like the
tigers.
saber-toothed tiger from Power Rangers?
No, I don't think it's quite as bad as that. I mean, the one in the tiger in Walking Dead wasn't the best, but in some parts it was quite cool.
Yeah.
This is like, a step down from
Well,
that.
looking at this is apparently NBC, which
It
is
is
like
NBC,
one of the
yeah.
top.
So it's all right. There's like I say, there's lots of twists and turns. As the season goes on, other sinkholes have been, or it turns out other sinkholes have happened in other places, and the government obviously know about it, and blah blah blah. I'm gonna watch the second season just purely because I want to know what's going on.
Oh, so there's more than one.
Yeah, it's 2 seasons done. Well, I've got 1 episode left of season 1, and
Okay.
then presuming you're not going to get to find out everything. Hence, there's a season 2.
Cool.
But yeah,
Well done for watching something.
I know, and a whole season of it.
Yeah.
And something new as well.
Yeah, found something new.
Good old Paramount Plus.
Is there? Do we
Is it on
know-
Paramount Plus?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on,
do-
you got a question, Brett?
No, I was just going to say, do we know if there is a season 3?
No, because I think this only started in 21, and I think season 2 has only just come out. So I'm not sure if that was last year or the beginning of this year. I haven't bothered to,
Okay, so it's still
it's an
in
ongoing.
the relevance. Yeah.
Yes,
Sounds a little
absolutely.
bit like. Did you ever see Terra Nova?
I watched a few of them.
Yeah, it was the one where.
Oh, no, see, now you just reminded me what it does. It reminds me of sort of budget and effects wise. It's gone again. It had the one from S Club 7 in.
The prehistoric thing.
Primeval.
Primeval.
Which I loved that. I mean, it was shit, but
We had the girl from S Club in it.
it was a. And see, this is it. For this, so Libret
Hannah.
feels like it should be a sort of 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock on a
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon type thing, like Merlin was and
Yeah.
Primeval. So
Okay.
it's still worth a watch.
No, I get that now because I was instantly dismissing it because of the special effects. But if I put it on at Saturday at 5 p.m., I'm
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but you really do have to get over the script writing. The script writing, it is terrible. It is full of dramatic pauses and
Okay.
like
cliches.
So you're
It's
not really selling it. It's bad special effects, bad scripts.
yeah,
and,
but sometimes
and no Hannah from S Club.
sometimes you can just get over that and just enjoy it for what it is.
Right.
And they do make quite a lot of Lost references.
Cool.
There's this one character, I can't remember what he says now, but there's about 3 or
You
4.
remember when there was that TV show that was a lot better than this one?
Yeah, it's
You
a bit like
remember-
that.
you remember what
It's
they
just-
did?
He does say something like, what they did in Lost was this.
Well, maybe if we all just imagine that one.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And other than that, on iPlayer, well, it's been broadcasting live as well, obviously, but did it all on iPlayer was The Gold. So that's the dramatization
I've seen
of
that advertised.
the Brinks-Mat Gold
Oh, okay, yeah,
heist
yeah, yeah.
back in the 80s. I don't remember, like 83 or something it was. It's a good series, but most of it's bullshit,
Right.
but still worth a watch for a kind of bit of 80s nostalgia, crime.
Yeah.
You know.
That isn't Vera.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Summers?
For me, it was mainly. I haven't watched a lot this week. 'Cause it's been getting into the getting back to school mode and just sort of being
Stag
out
do.
and about and that. I did
Stag
see
do was your way of
and
getting back into the school mode, was
yeah,
it?
very well. I did see the new South Park this week, which may. No, did anyone catch it?
No.
I love the way he
It's
says
just
it.
the hope in his
Yeah.
face, isn't it? It's just like,
No, because I'm not.
It may feature a currently hot in the media prince and princess.
I have heard about it.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah,
I thought they'd done it quite well actually. It was. And
it's
again-
like, well, I don't even care about it, but I do. But no one else really cares about it.
Yeah, but it's one of those sort of things where they got their finger on the pulse again, and managed to combine that with online gaming, and the fact that there was a really nice bit where, because Kyle's brother is Canadian and is mourning the death of the Queen of Canada. So even though you see her in a coffin getting thrown around, it's the Queen of Canada and doesn't represent anyone living or dead.
Yeah.
And the Prince and Princess of Canada are upset and everything. And Carl's brother Ike is Canadian and follows it on the computer. He can't get on the computer to play the game that the rest of them are playing. So he's falling behind, and like Tolkien with an Tol, yeah, is they're all playing, so he's getting left behind, and they're all leveling up without him and all that. And Butters informs him that it's because he needs to improve his brand, because all kids have a brand and he needs to improve it. So he goes to a brand specialist to help try and make him a bit more popular again. They're called Cumhammer. And they give him advice on how to do his branding on his social media and all that. And it's, I don't know, it's a nice magnifying glass at this point in society where we've got people and kids who are worried about their brand and what they look like on Instagram and all that. There's one bit where like all the girls are beating up Butters and they punch his teeth out and he's calling her a bitch and everything. And he's going, and Kyle's going, Butters, what are you doing? He's like, you got to keep your brand up, Kyle. If you haven't got a brand, no one's interested. You got to keep it up. And he's going, but you're getting the shit kicked out of you. And he's like, that's my brand. He's going, got any more, bitch? And it's just like, yeah, they're still on the money after all these years. It's encouraging to see that they've not backed down on any topic, and they still managed to tie it in with relevance and the whole like we learned today that like that you normally get in a cartoon, but in the South Park way. So that was cool. Also, worlds collided this week in Death in Paradise, where lots of threads that have been building up over the season have all come together now.
Yep.
Possibly a bit too early, as there's still a few episodes left of the
I think
season.
it's one. No, there's excuse me. There's one left.
You're excused. That's all right.
I
Okay.
don't know if he is actually.
I don't know. It sounded quite. Actually, there's one left. You prick. It's like, no, but that was cleverly done. We kind of called it though.
Yeah, we knew she was dodgy.
Yeah, we knew
I
she was
didn't realise
dodgy.
it was. Well, I didn't get the why she was dodgy.
Well,
but it was,
I got it as soon as they said the folder
yeah.
and the system, because
Yeah,
they
but we-
hadn't revealed
we said,
any.
like,
That
two-
wasn't. Yeah,
2 or 3 episodes ago
Yeah,
that
shit.
she's a wrong un.
I thought she was going to be a people smuggler.
Yeah,
And then you had like his cop mate and not David Mitchell, Robert Webb popped back in
it
again
was-
for a little
yeah.
cameo.
So that's he's just stuck in there for
Yeah.
a complete red herring.
Red herring in that, but it was nicely done. Different for them. I did actually like the freeze framey kind of bit where he was trying to work out what was going on when he was in prison. And he was thinking back to the police station, and he was sort of walking
Oh yeah,
around
walking through.
there.
Yeah.
Reminded me a little bit of sort of Psych or something, or a bit Sherlocky. when
Yeah, they should
kind
do
of-
that quite a lot in what was that? What's the one that's been going for years now with about the criminal psychologists? Can't remember what it's called now.
CSI, one of those ones?
No, a bit later than that, but doesn't matter.
One of them. Yeah, but like, yeah, no, it was
Had
quite
Mandy particularly
Oh yeah.
in the original
open
series.
hours.
No.
I don't- it's just trying
Well,
to
that's
think
going to
what he was
bug me now. You carry on. I'll just think about it.
saying. Okay. Just shout it out when you remember. That's what I normally do. Yeah, no, so that was really good. It was well acted and that. But are we seeing the end of Ralph Little, do we think,
Hope so.
in Death in Paradise?
I reckon so because he's been the longest one so far, and
It's time for him to do the Doctor Who.
yeah.
Because apparently the favourite to replace him is I forgot the actor's name now.
Idris Elba.
No, the Will from The Inbetweeners.
I can kind of
Which
see
one
that.
was Will?
The geeky one with the glasses.
Oh,
Oh right, yeah.
no, I thought the other one. Okay.
Who ironically his mum was the original detective's wife in real life. His mum in
Yeah.
The Inbetweeners. I
Mhm,
think they've
that's
split
right.
up now.
Yeah, I don't think they're together
But
anymore.
yeah, he's apparently one of the folks there. Oh, I actually know, and I also watched him in.
Oh, he's got a new sitcom out at the
we're
moment,
all
isn't
gonna
he?
burn or something
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, I watched the first one of those. Didn't like it.
It's
Well, I didn't
right,
mind it. I
but
didn't
it's
hate
not.
it. It's just not funny.
Yeah, it's not a sitcom though. It is, but it's not.
Funny.
They've marketed it all wrong. When you watch it, it's like, hey, look, it's Will from The Inbetweeners, and he's in a religious comedy, and this is going to be funny. But it's not funny, but it is.
It's not.
I haven't watched it. I've seen the
No, but
adverts,
it's like,
and
but-
it's not played straight, so I don't.
It's one of those comedies that isn't funny.
Yeah,
It's trying. It's just
no, it's
not getting there.
not there.
I would put it in the lines of, it's not rubbish, but you almost, as it goes along, it gets, because you pick up all the bits and all the reference, then it becomes more funnier.
It's not funny.
But it's
Okay.
not. It's more a comedy drama than it is a sitcom laugh out loud comedy.
It's not
though.
really dramatic.
You only
Let's
watch
just
one
move on.
episode.
No, I watched a
But
couple
no,
of them.
it's worth a watch. But it's not.
It's like they couldn't make up their mind of what they want it to be. Whether it's like almost a teen drama, as Brett says, because their daughter doesn't really want to believe in that. She wants a normal life. She wants an iPhone, all that kind of good stuff. So they could have done it one way. They could have made it a real big comedy, slapstick type thing. But it seems like they've gone for something in the middle of.
I think they're worried about offending people
Yeah.
with the religion side of it.
They should have taken a
But
leaf
it's
out
very
of
much
South Park's books.
and just gone for it. Well, if you're going to do something like that, you need.
If
to
you're
going
gonna
to
do it right.
Yeah. But it was like, I don't know, a bit of wham. But
Criminal Minds.
yay, he's back.
Well done, Damien.
But yeah, no, I did watch that as well. That just reminded me. But
So you reckon he's the favourite to take
well, there was a thing I was reading now. Apparently, he's the favourite to take
over?
over or something. But I think he could do it. But it'd just be weird. I don't know if it's been long enough for people to not go, oh, it's Will from The Inbetweeners.
It's been about 20 years.
Yeah, but it's on every bloody night.
Yeah, and he did pretty much the same, well, more or less the same, not necessarily the same character, but the same act in Friday Night Dinner.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, loved Friday Night
I
Dinner,
really like
but
that.
it's not. It wasn't a departure for him in that. If you see what I mean.
At least no one's going to go, oh, it's him from Everyone Else Bands.
Yeah. Isn't that? He's got a bowl haircut and a fake nose as well.
No,
He's-
just because
he's
no one's
tried-
really watching it.
I knew that, but he's actually tried to differentiate himself with special. No, what do you call it? Makeup.
But he's not
Special
actually
effects.
acting any different, though, is he? He basically is the same character, just
He's
with
a
a...
very self-righteous-y kind of person.
Yeah, but he always was.
I'm agreeing with
Oh,
you.
right, okay.
Yeah, so I'm saying he's very self-righteous. Yeah, that same sort of. He's the one that knows better than everyone else, kind of thing. Which again could work in Death and Paradise, but I don't know. Maybe it'll sway in that younger demographic who still think In Betweeners is like a year old because they've just discovered it on E4
Yeah.
or Netflix. But
Go on, hit us with something
Yeah.
else.
and the big one, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania.
Right, so
Talk amongst yourselves.
first weekend's box office for this was good, wasn't it? However, it's been panned.
Yeah, but they pan all of them.
No, but it's been really panned, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, it is because
It's been really panned.
No, it's not. It's really good.
No, I said it has
Yeah, I
been
know,
really
but
panned.
they panel it because now it's cool to be like, oh, it's another superhero movie.
But-
Marvel have done 30 of these now.
But a
and all
lot of
that.
I think a lot of it shows up a lot of the issues from the second one, which is like this whole thing when they go into the quantum realm, time has doesn't pass.
Well,
But like in the
Well, it
second
passes,
one,
passes differently.
yeah. But in the second one, Pin's wife got
Yeah.
old.
Which
is-
it passed, but it passes differently. Yeah,
Yeah, but
and
it
she was
didn't
there.
though because it passed at the same time.
Well, no, she was there 30 years.
Yeah, but she got the same age as Michael Douglas,
Yeah, but
so it didn't really pass.
but when she went in like the 80s.
Right.
She went in when he was the original Ant-Man, which we still haven't seen much about. She went in like 1980, and he's been living without her for like 30 years. So when she comes out,
But she didn't-
comes.
But she shouldn't have aged. Is my point.
Well, no, time. Don't say that. Time passes differently.
Right. Okay. So they didn't pick up on that, and they didn't want to bring back a 20-year-old woman to keep on dating Michael Douglas,
Well,
even though
wh-
Catherine Zeta-Jones. Let's face it.
let's make. Why do you want to make it like real life?
Yeah.
It's a fantasy. He's got an older wife in this.
Okay.
Although
Anyway,
I
so
was getting quite shocked at how old Michelle Pfeiffer looks now. I don't know if that's just a reflection on my own mortality, but I just had memories of Grease 2 and then memories of now, and
but Grease 2 was a long time ago,
I know.
and
but-
Catwoman.
But that was the best film. No, Grease 2 was much better than Catwoman.
What?
Phone in, people. It's got Maxwell Caulfield in it, Rex Manning.
Anyway,
But yeah, but I thought it was really good. Totally sets up the new Big Bad, which they've already done. Have you seen Loki? The TV series?
yeah, but you can say Kang.
Yeah, I can say. No, but I'm just saying, if you've seen that,
All right.
it kind of flow. Have you watched that yet?
Yeah, ages ago.
Yeah, but that it kind of flows on from that. So you got, the Kang thing coming into it, the more variants and stuff. There's some cool stuff in the credits as well. Do stick around as always. But now I thought it went well. It's a good tight story. There's some funny bits of it being Ant-Man. There's a nice bit where they're in the car. Because since then he's kind of, and actually Damien, you'll like this bit. He's become more. He's cashed in on it a bit more. So when he's walking down the street, and he's written a book on it all. And there's a bit where they're in the car, and they said, "Oh, Dad, put the radio on." He puts the radio on, and it's his own audio book. And they're like, "Are you listening to your own audio book?" He's like, "No, it's just on." And it's like, "You're listening to your own audio book." He's like, "No, I'm not." And apparently they are bringing that out because they're cashing on anything. But and there's a nice bit, and he's still sort of the hero, but he's kind of happily living off that and doing book readings and being the celebrity of it and all that. And Michael Douglas gets a lot more to do in this one, and he gets a longer coat that makes him look cooler. Kind of a sort of almost like a kind of Wyatt Earp kind of sheriffy kind of long coat in that, and and the daughter comes into her own now. She's and no, I'm trying not to give too much away.
Big battle
but
on it.
lots of big battle, lots of new
Yep.
characters, few old characters.
So why has it been slated then?
Because it's another movie now, and everyone it's now cool to start knocking it.
I've been cool for years.
Thanks, David.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, no,
Just
it's
saying, if it's cool to lock Marvel, then
Well, no, it's that thing. People go, "Oh, it's another one," and also, but the thing with it now is, it is getting to a point where you would have needed to have seen the Loki series to get. Well, I don't know, to get a bit more out of it. You definitely would have needed to see the other Ant-Man films, but you'd imagine if you're going to see the third one, you would have watched the first two.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, it's all interconnected and all that," and it's like that was what everyone praised about it for years, and now they're like, I don't know. I think people just sort of people want like Iron Man 10.
Well, I don't think they do. Iron Man 3 wasn't any good.
No, the second one was the rubbish one.
No, it wasn't.
That was the one with Whiplash.
Wasn't rubbish.
Oh, it was.
Iron Man 3 was with Guy Pearce.
It's got Guy Pearce. How can Mike from Neighbours ever be rubbish?
His whole thing about becoming a supervillain was because
See,
Tony
Damon's getting
stood him
angry.
up.
not get angry.
He's getting angry because he slagged off Mike from Neighbours.
No, but that was his whole thing. Tony stood him up.
It was the jazz. Yeah, but people
And then
do
he
that.
goes off and becomes.
That happens to people. People get
Anyway,
stabbed
that's
whatever
not
and
the
it
only
builds
reason why-
up.
Keep going. We haven't had a geek fight for a long time.
The film is just genuinely bad.
Yeah. But people can bear grudges and it can grow and whatever. But no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film. It made sense. It came round at the end and then sets up. It was almost the equivalent of when we see Thanos at the end of the other one, but with a bit more detail.
Right.
We can see that, shit's going to happen. And maybe. No, I can't say that.
Okay, so
Let's move on then.
So, yeah. But no, it was really good.
Okay,
One
but
of the better ones.
before
for
we,
me.
and you don't have to go on about it. But at the moment, Kang is in the quantum realm.
A variant of Kang is in the quantum realm.
Right. Okay. Cool. Don't say anymore. I shall watch it myself.
But have you seen Loki?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, really good. I think you should watch it. Especially if you like that stuff, you're going to love it. If you don't, you won't. But I think it's there. It continues the overarching Marvel Cinematic Universe storyline, and it's exciting. There's action. There's ladies. There's men. Something for everyone. And a few weird mutant-y creatures as well.
Something for everyone.
And keep an eye out for the little monster who's got a fixation with holes. Yes, you heard that right.
Does he need a leaflet as well?
スポットライト
Okay, it's time for our spotlight now, and we turn it on to 1999's Mystery Men, which was loosely based on Bob Burden's Flaming Carrot comics, and it starred an all-star cast of Ben Stiller, Hank Azaria, William H. Macy, Greg Kinnear, Janine Garofalo, Paul Rubens, Cal Mitchell, Wes Studi, Jeffrey Rush, Lena Olin, Eddie Izzard, Claire Filali, Tom Waits, the tall dude from the Fugees, and it was directed by Praz, and it was directed by King Usher, and I think it remains still as the only film he made.
Yeah.
As I say, it came out in 1999 with a budget of $68 million and managed to pull in $33.5 million. So it kind of fell a little bit short of its target. And
Yeah.
We're going to have a look at this film today. So, first of all, gentlemen, any memories of this film turning back to 1999 or wherever you may have been or whatever you were doing then?
So for me, I think it was a Sunday night movie on Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely didn't go to cinema to see it. But yeah, I would have put that on Sunday night on my own, watched it then.
I don't think it got that much of a run over here. I was trying to look at that, but
It-
I couldn't find
well,
much.
I did go. I went to the cinema and saw it. I think it
Well
must have-
done.
It
You-
was
you-
yeah, probably
yeah.
one of the only ones. If you think back to 1999, I think Orange Wednesday was still
Nah.
a prominent thing. So,
Can you just explain what that is for our viewers
Yeah.
in other countries,
so Orange Wednesday was
especially if they're in Ireland or
Yeah.
somewhere?
if you had a phone on the Orange mobile network, you got 2-for-1 cinema tickets at, I think they were Odeon cinemas, weren't they? So if you,
Think so,
if you knew
yeah.
anyone that had an orange phone, you could pretty much go to the cinema for literally half price of the two of you. And that's what we did. Literally one of those.
Any memories of when you saw
No,
it?
I don't remember enjoying it, to be perfectly honest. I think I was a bit bored.
Okay, Paul.
I don't have many memories of it. It was a Sunday night program. They all kind of hit and miss
Yeah.
because
It was what was on at the time.
if
right?
you're watching everything on Sky, then it wasn't Sky Premiere at the time. But
Yeah. It
No, I
was
got
paying on
it
Sky
on-
Movies then.
yeah,
I remember buying it.
Of course you do.
yeah, on the
On-
DVD. Or was
Was
it
a
cassette?
No,
cassette
it
at the
was
time.
a DVD. No, it was
VHS was still
DVD.
around back then.
Yeah.
No, it was one of the
They were
first.
selling them all off cheaply, to be fair.
Yeah. No, it was one of the first DVDs I got. I think, and it was when I was.
Look at
I
a little
was-
smile on his
Oh,
face
no, I'm
and,
just thinking,
and
no, I was
looking up
living
as
in
he
Birmingham. I'm
remembers.
just trying to remember. Yeah. No, I was living in Birmingham, and it was one of those when Blockbuster used to do like X rentals.
Oh, yeah. So
And it
the
was
cases
about-
were a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
And you
but
weren't
it was
living in Birmingham. You were living in Solihull.
Solihull, yes. So
Same difference, isn't it?
but it was about like £3 or something X rental, and it was like, and I'd heard of it, but I hadn't seen it at that point. So yeah, no, it was a cool buy. There's loads of extras on it, and that was when it like, wow, what DVDs have got a load more on than videos. And it was like, yeah, that was my beginning to turn into the sort of the DVD fad, which still is ongoing, really. But yeah,
For you.
I remember enjoying it for what it was, and yeah, it was just a shame it lost a shitload of money.
Yeah.
But okay then, so we turn our eyes to the plot now.
Okay, let's unpick the plot.
And there
That's
are, just to say, sorry, Dave, just butting in there. We mentioned like the all-star cast. There are even other people that turn up for like 5 seconds
Isn't
in it
it-
as well.
Isn't the guy from Jurassic Park in it? The big guy. We'll talk about it in one of the scenes in a minute.
the big guy.
Red Eye.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Cool.
Literally for, as you say,
So-
like 30 seconds.
Yeah, there's yeah. But,
Okay,
yes,
let's unpick the plot.
go for it.
So, in Champion City, which looks a lot like Gotham City from Batman Forever, probably because it was.
Yeah, same set.
Yeah. The amateur superhero team of Mr. Furious, played by Ben Stiller, the Shoveler, played by William H. Macy, and the Blue Raja, played by Hank Azaria. I never really know how to pronounce that. Azaria.
Ziggy Azalea.
Yeah. Attempt to make a name for themselves, but their inexperience, infighting, and dubious abilities result in defeat and frustration. While trying to stop a robbery in progress, they are upstaged by the city's most powerful and arrogant superhero, Captain Amazing, played by Greg Kinnear.
Yeah. That was a nice little scene. I thought it was a nice opener.
I think
It's a good opening.
So yeah, the whole thing about it is the setup of Batman. The look and feel from the
Yeah.
opening
well, it's just
title
exactly the
and
same stuff.
no, the opening sequence and even the theme tunes
Yeah.
and all the way along. You know, it's almost like they've got Danny Elfman or something
Yeah.
doing the music to it. And then yeah, I was watching and thinking, okay, that's very Batman-esque. Cool, I'm liking this. Then it goes into the old people's home, and it's like almost okay. It's more Michael Keaton type Batman. Yeah, it is. Yeah, okay, fine, because they're all the old age pensioners being robbed, and they're pinching their teeth and taking arms. The first bit was a bit funny, and then and then the eyeball comes out, and
Yeah, and then you get the arm,
yeah,
and it seems to spend a lot of focus on the arm.
yeah. I thought something was going to happen, but it didn't.
Yeah, exactly. You think the arm was gonna like knock someone out, or
Yeah.
Chekhov's arm. If you're going to use it, make it do so.
yeah, exactly.
But I like the introduction. We got some weird characters. They all kind of, you get over what they're like. You've got the shoveler and his ability to shovel better than any man, apparently. You got the Blue Raja throwing his forks around.
Yeah, not knives. He
No,
doesn't,
can't
he
throw
doesn't do
knives.
knives.
And Mr. Furious being furious.
Yeah. And it was nice set up with the goons, as I said,
Yeah.
more Batman-esque.
Sort of 60, almost went a bit
Yeah.
66 as well,
Yeah.
didn't it? Yeah.
I expected them to do like on come some funny hip
Yeah.
music as
Yeah.
well.
And then,
Yeah.
like, kapow and
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
kaboom.
Greg Kinnear, I thought, done well as sort of pretty much the asshole Captain Amazing.
Yep.
I think.
Well, yeah, it was more Homelander.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pre-Homelander.
Yeah.
But apparently, behind the scenes, Stiller and Greg Kinnear almost had fights in real life anytime they were on scenes together because they didn't like what the other's interpretation of what it's supposed to be and all that. And a couple of times they had to be split up.
I
in
think they
real
were
life.
thinking about it too much, weren't they?
Yeah. Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Wow.
Who knows? But apparently, yeah, there was a lot. I think there's even today still they're not. They're
They're not the best of friends.
Yeah, that wedge is still there. But yeah, but I thought it was a nice opener. Set the scene. You got, like you say, you got your idea. You got your Batman vibes. You got your sort of superhero vibes, but with a bit of a weird twist. With the
Well,
old-
and
I found the old people a bit creepy. Some of them.
yeah. And you know,
In the film, not in. Just
Yeah, I think
movie.
that's the point, isn't it? And
Yeah.
that sets you the tone of the film. It's almost a National Lampoon's does
Yep.
superheroes
Yeah.
or goofball. Not well, yeah, it's a goofy comedy. So it's what am I thinking? Like Meatballs or
Yeah.
all of that stuff from the early '80s of those sort of madcap. That's what they're
Over the
setting
top
up.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we
cool.
continue.
Yeah, so Captain Amazing saves the day. However, it is revealed that Amazing's crime-fighting prowess has practically made his job obsolete. Without any worthy adversaries, most are either dead or in exile or in jail. His corporate sponsors are beginning to withdraw support. To create a need for his services, Amazing uses his alter ego, billionaire lawyer Lance Hunt, to argue for the release of his nemesis, supervillain Casanova Frankenstein, played by Jeffrey Rush. He ought to actually looks a bit like James Woods, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot like James Woods, isn't it?
Yeah. From an insane asylum. However, the plan backfires once he's released and reunited with his henchmen, Tony P. and his disco boys. Casanova Frankenstein blows up the asylum, easily outwits and captures Captain Amazing, and prepares to unleash the Fraculator, which lethally bends reality on the city.
Yeah, I like that. But Jeffrey Rush should have got an Oscar nomination for this. No one is loving being in this film more than Jeffrey
He's
Rush.
proper
is.
camped it up and thoroughly enjoying himself.
I mean,
Which he should have had more in the film. Actually, to be fair, because of his performance.
it had all the ticks as well, didn't it? So it had a foreign accented bad guy. It also had an English
but-
bad guy.
The accent you can't place. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
some weird European foreign accent.
Yeah. Eddie Izzard, obviously, as the English baddie.
Oh yeah, Tony P. the Disco. Actually,
No, but he's not. Though. He's got an American accent.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
actually-
his American
Actually,
accent.
he might be the person that has the most fun. I don't know. I think it's between him and Jeffrey Rush on who's
Let's just say
enjoying
now,
himself the most.
this film was made in 1999. Eddie Izzard was still a he back then, so for the entirety of this podcast, we will refer to Eddie Izzard when we do
Yeah, good
as
point.
he.
Because
He's no longer a he.
she was
but
then.
Exactly.
Yes,
Just
but Eddie
that's
Izzard
the caveat there.
is
oh yeah,
another
yeah.
person,
And
who's
also his
enjoying himself.
the character is a he.
Yeah,
Potentially.
the whole I almost believed Tony P. Eddie Izzard when he's like, Disco's not dead, Disco, and all that. And I'm pretty sure it's probably his own wardrobe.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, or it's something there where I get to keep what I wear in the thing. The Psycho Franculator, I thought was a great name. Very, again, Batman 66 kind of hamping up comic books. And I've just thought about it now that Lance Hunt was the real name of Captain Amazing. And I wonder if that's on purpose.
I've no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what Captain Amazing is.
Not Captain Amazing. Yeah, Captain Amazing.
Captain Amazing,
the hero.
Yeah.
His real name's Lance Hunt.
the lawyer
And I
that
just
he
wonder-
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if that's like a Cockney rhyming slang.
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you
Yeah.
meant Lance, Lance Hunt's is the real name of someone in
Oh,
something else.
no. I just meant that it might be a slight rhyming clue
Yeah.
about what the character's like. I hadn't actually picked up on that before.
Ah.
So there's many layers to this. But yeah, I like it. And just
Oh.
the fact that he's thick as shit. And his plan is to get him out. Then he's like, oh, shit. And then he's been outsmarted, outwitted. And how he ever got him the first time, I don't know. Well, we don't. But it was, yeah. But we've seen things like that before.
I did find I don't know why. I always find it quite mildly amusing in any film when they do it, and it's in a lot of films. But I knew you'd know that I know,
Yeah.
and I knew you'd know that. But then they did that little bit at the end was like, oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So little twist on it, but I don't know. I always find that amusing. I don't know why. It's just a little thing that tickles me. Anyway.
Yeah, so carrying on then. So whilst all this is happening, Mr. Furious is actually having a stakeout at Casanova Frankenstein's mansion because he still sets himself to go out on missions and patrol. Because
Well, yeah, because he
sees
saw
those
the
hero-
disco gang or whatever they
Yeah.
are. He wanted to go out, follow them, but the other two had to get home.
Yeah, that's right. And he sees Captain Amazing fly in, sees him get captured, and then he has to run and form the team.
And he's
And,
also saying that Captain Amazing is also Lance.
Hunt, but no one believes him
Yeah.
because Lance Hunt wears glasses.
Yeah,
Which again, nice.
it was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
It's like, but how does he see?
And then they try and make the save, but kind of it doesn't quite work out for them. So they decide that they need more allies.
Yep. Oh, I get a nice big paragraph to read. Thanks for that.
I was going
That's
to say,
all right.
he's got like one line.
Yeah.
Well, I'm figuring that
Brett gives himself one line to read, and then
I thought people would be fed up with my voice a bit more, so giving you guys more
well,
chance to talk.
that's the first time in this section they've heard your voice. But anyway,
Oh, brace yourself, Damien.
yeah.
You're going in.
I'm going in. Right. Through word of mouth, they recruit Invisible Boy, who can only turn invisible when nobody is looking.
And
The
when he's not looking at himself, either.
and when he's not looking at himself. So basically, yeah, I mean, it's clear that they're going for the angle that just everyone ignores him, so he thinks he's invisible.
Yeah.
The spleen, cursed by a gypsy to forever be he who doubts it. Then they throw a barbecue audition that introduces us to two power women: Supervac Man, the reverse psychologist, Mr. Pups, the waffler.
The waffler.
Oh yeah, that was just ridiculous.
Dan Cook, that was.
Ballerina Man, Mailman, Pencil Man, although he introduces himself as Pencil Head, despite the initials on his shirt being being PM, and the son of Pencil Man, Little Miss Vengeance, Squeegee Man, Maintainer, the Artiste, Big Billy Hillbilly, Big Billy Hillbilly.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Some of them were like literally seconds.
Oh right,
But
okay.
it's just credited because they're all famous people at the time.
PMS Avenger.
But she only works 4 days a month. You got a
you
problem
got
with
a
that?
problem with that. Radio Man, Two Pigs, Martial Artist, Gorilla, Evil Devil Woman, Global Man, Gardener, Bullfighter, Stilt Man, Fisherman, and Thirsty Man.
Well done.
Thank
Wait,
you.
did you do that on purpose just to get them
Yeah.
to read out
A
lots
little
of
bit.
names?
I can remember PMS Avenger. I can remember Pencil Man and Son of Pencil Man.
Some of them are on the outtakes because they cut people out or
Okay.
whatever.
Squeegee Man, I remember. Ballerina, yes, because that went on. Even that joke went on too long. Anyway, so eventually they recruit the Bowler, daughter of the original Bowler, whose skull is encased in her bowling ball. The emboldened team ambush Casanova's limousine, but merely succeed in annoying him. Happy with their actions, they go off to celebrate.
Yeah, it was. They just kicked up a limo really and
Yeah.
like, jumped up and down the roof and
See-
basically they keyed it with a fork.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
See, well, they did more of that. And first of all, the other bit that's still coming into my mind, because obviously we read a bit, we got the notes before this.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, when I saw that stretched limo, so, okay, I'm continuing to see where the budget is going. So we've got the actors, we've got some of the sets. Yeah, they may have reused them or whatever. And they've obviously spent a bit of money on the limo as well. And we also,
Although you never see the limo in its
Yeah,
entirety. You
yeah.
see the front of it, and then you see the back of it,
Yeah.
and then they have some close-ups to the sides, but you don't actually see
Yeah.
the full limo in its entirety, which makes me think that they've got it's not cut and shut, but it's they've got
For
a little
some
bit.
scenes, they've got
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, carry on, Paul.
No, so I
Oh.
didn't mind that bit. It was like it's like when they actually like beat up the limo and he's getting his shovel whacking down the side. That was quite nice. And I even quite liked the last touch where Blue Raja gets his fork and scrapes
just
it down the
scrapes it
side.
down the
I
side.
thought, okay, yeah, that's a bit funny.
yeah.
I don't
I mean,
mind.
it's a good scene in that it gives you the measure of Ben Stiller's character. I've forgotten the name already.
Mr. Furious.
Mr. Fury, insofar as he is actually useless. It's all
He's just jumped up down
Yeah.
the roof,
yeah.
basically, isn't
And
he?
he doesn't even really do any damage, and he's trying to pull the badge off the front and can't
Yeah.
even do that. So you're kind of starting to realise.
I mean, he's
that
literally the
he's
only
useless.
one. Even the bowler manages to smash through the windows.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's the only one who, in a way, which is where it's starting. This is like the B plot, isn't it? That he
Yeah.
doesn't really have any powers.
Yeah.
Even though the others, the shoveler
yeah.
and all that, but like all the others have got something at least, and
See, this is the thing. The shoveler doesn't actually do any shoveling throughout the entire film. He hits people with his shovel, but they should have put in there. We need to dig a hole for some reason. I don't know what. Just to
yeah, but I think that's
it's like really speed up the.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So they go out to celebrate and have a nice time while they're drunk from celebrating their so-called victory. The team get ambushed by Tony P and the Disco Boys, and they're nearly killed. They're all lined up with their guns pointing at them, but their guns instantly fall apart just as they're about to get shot, and they're saved by the Sphinx, an enigmatic superhero who agrees to train them. The Sphinx's unconventional team building exercises and
Yep. Good luck with that one.
Intimidable.
Ah, okay. Swallowed a dictionary today.
did he write this, or did he get that GP thing to do it? And his
And his
Well,
rhetoric.
It is
then-
Yoda-like rhetoric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annoy Mr. Furious, who quits the group, but the others flourish under his tutelage.
I really like the Sphinx.
I did like the inane one of them. I can't remember what is it now. He who questions
Yeah.
only learns to question, or whatever, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
He who questions learning only
Yeah.
learns to... No,
Question.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what's his power? He's mysterious. Oh, and he can.
No, he's terribly
Oh,
mysterious.
terribly mysterious.
No,
yeah.
but that's how they set him up. But then, the first time we see him, he's taking guns apart with
Yeah.
his mind. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, no,
So
he's got,
he can
he's got
do
a
something.
superpower.
Yeah, he's got something, and yeah, it's a good bit, and I like it because poor old Roy, Mr. Furious, is sort of was kind of the leader a bit, but he's kind
He's
of
had his nose put out.
he's
of
had his
joint.
nose put a joint, and his
Yeah.
sort of lack of powers and abilities is, especially when they're training, is becoming more and more obvious. And he's got a cob on.
And the rest of the team are actually starting to get good.
yeah,
You know, the Blue Raj is actually managing to hit the boards with his cutlery and all this kind of
but
stuff.
no knives because he can't throw knives.
And what we've missed as well is that Ben Stiller, aka Mr. Furious, is also trying to date the waitress as well.
Oh yeah, Claire Filani.
Yeah.
We would have seen in Mallrats, which is one of our previous episodes.
Yeah.
She was Brandy Svenning in Mallrats, and was in the one where Brad Pitt's deaf. Meet Joe.
Meet Joe Black.
Yes, that
Oh.
sounds right.
Deaf, not deaf, as
Oh,
in can't hear.
yeah, that's
I was
what I
like,
was
I don't,
thinking.
have I seen a film where he plays a deaf person? I don't think I have.
7 years in Tibet, no, you can.
Yeah, it's like Fight Club. No, we can definitely hear
Yeah,
in
you
Fight
can hear.
Club. Yeah.
Yeah.
12 Monkeys. Could be deaf in that. He's got a lot of things wrong with him in that. But I'm with you now. Death. Got you. I still haven't seen that either, to be fair. But anyway,
What?
Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black.
No, I
No,
never
you're
watched
not
it. A
missing
little
much,
while,
mate.
little
I don't
while
think
boy.
I am.
It got
So-
panned.
So that's not for next week then.
No, certainly not.
Okay, then. So carrying on then. So the Sphinx is training them. They're flourishing under tutelage. Mr. Furious is angry, bizarrely. So problem is they still know that they're going to be outgunned, so they seek out the legendary Doc Heller, played by the equally legendary Tom Waits. And
So-
he's
You're gonna have to forgive me. Is this Tom Waits, the music guy?
yeah, Tom Waits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm not. I mean, I know I'm familiar with some of his work, but I wouldn't recognise him. On the street, as it were.
Yeah,
So-
because I always muddle him up with the guy that used to run around with Lex Luthor in the Clark Kent in the Christopher Reeve Superman films. Otis, I forget the assistant's name now. That
The
actor.
short little fat dude.
Yeah, but to me, he looks like the same guy, but he's been to the gym a bit.
Okay.
He's got the same face, but it is Tom Waits, and he plays Doc Heller, who specialises in all sorts of weapons. Problem is, they're all non-lethal. Which, as a weaponer, is that the thing you want? But he introduces them to some of his unique weapons, which the flamethrower was a particular favourite, where it's like a flamethrower, but it makes you blame everyone else for what's going on. And apparently there's a whole bit where the mysteriousness of Doc Heller came down to the fact that Tom Waits had trouble memorising his lines during his big monologues, so he just wrote them on his hands. So as you see him doing these odd hand gestures and
Yeah.
his hand, his face, and all that, it's actually him just reading the lines off his hands. And King Usher, the director, actually thought this was good for the character. So whenever you see those bits in there and he's waving his hands around, he's reading his lines. Brando used to have someone holding a card up.
Yeah.
Right? So that's not. But it's not judged too much, but it works. And there's a flamethrower. What was the other one? There's the tornado thing, wasn't there?
Yeah, tornado in a can or something like
Yeah.
that.
And all that. So lots of non-lethal weapons. Which sums up the whole thing, really. Then we flash back to Mr. Furious, who's being encouraged by Monica Cleflani, the girlfriend, to rejoin the team. So eventually he sort of swallows his pride and goes back. But in the meantime, Casanova Frankenstein has recruited a load of people himself. And you've got all the Champion City's evil gangs now. You've got the not-so-goody mob, which has got CeeLo Green in it, probably years before he was ever CeeLo Green. You've got the frat boys, which included Michael Bay, who would go on to become a bit of a director himself, and Ricky Rackman from MTV in the 80s. I don't know what he does now. Probably more famous in America,
Yeah.
but I remember him as Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
And there's loads of other little gangs and things as well. Bay's the one that asked if they can bring the Brewskis. And apparently, in the DVD commentary, they needed security for the not-so-goody mob because they were up to stuff that might have needed security. He doesn't go into too much detail, but he says there were criminal offences that were carried out. And they're a bit worried about them.
Fair enough.
But it is CeeLo Green before he became all like commercial and
Yeah.
and all that. But I liked all the gangs. Again, really got the sort of Batman throwbacks, 66 era, where everyone had their own sort of
Yeah. Well,
gangs
I
in
mean, if you think
uniforms.
back to this time period, if you think back to like the late 90s, you've had what do you call it, Austin Powers, and you've had a few other sort of throwback to the 60s, 70s, and that was the in thing. So this film was always going to have that kind of characters in it, like I forgot what the ladies are called, the girls, but they're all
the
in.
fembots.
Yeah, well, that's what they are in.
Austin
Austin Powers, but you've got the same thing in this. I forget what they call
Yeah.
it, but so it was always going to have that kind of 70s
Kitsch
vibe.
kind
Kitsch, that's
of
the
thing.
word I was looking for. So I move on.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so eventually the team break into Casanova's mansion during a summit of several of the city's gangs. But while attempting to free Captain Amazing, they inadvertently set off the Psycho Fraculator and kill him. Without Amazing, the team despairs of saving the city, but the Shoveler delivers a pep talk which inspires them to continue. So I think we've always, from the moment Fury's boss had been telling him to junk the armored vehicle, we always knew that armored vehicle was going to play a part in the
Yeah.
at some point within the film. So it was thought out, I guess is the best way of saying it. Nothing
No,
to add?
good.
No, that
Well,
particular scene.
So the only thing I was going to say is, so we kind of get an inkling of who the real team lead is, because it starts off being Mr. Furious, who he wants it to be, but it's not really him, and then it's the Sphinx. But the Sphinx makes a line of, when things get really bad, you can run away. But no, the shuffler basically just says, "Look, I've made a hell load of egg mayonnaise. I can't touch this, or otherwise, my wife's going to kill me because it'll bring on a heart attack. So, are we eating this sandwiches, or are we going to go save the world? So he really brings the team together.
It was. It was. It
He's-
was a
he's the
Goonies
heart of the-
moment.
He's
Yeah.
the heart of the team. This
This
his-
is our time. This.
And it's still the one I said at the beginning. I think it's a bit later on, but we've got a date with Destiny, and it looks like she ordered the lobster.
Yeah, that's
That's
just
still
as they're
like,
driving
yeah,
in. That
yeah.
did make me. To be fair, I mean, I've seen over the internet like people saying this is like a really quotable film, but with the exception of what the Yoda-esque stuff, that's the only other quote that really stands out to me.
No, the shoveler has a few as it goes along.
Does he? I don't.
Does it?
That was maybe I'm just not getting them then, but that was the only one that I thought was actually, that made me chuckle anyway.
Yeah.
That I'd remember.
Cool. All right. Well, moving on. With new resolve, the team. Oh, sorry. The only other thing I was going to say as well is there's a little bit where Captain Amazing is obviously trying to get them to flip switches and all this kind of good stuff. I completely forgot that they actually end up killing him.
So did I. Yeah, I think the first time round, I was expecting him to escape and take all the credit or something.
Yeah. Or he may get zapped and disappear into a quantum realm or something like that. But no, they probably toast him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a nice touch. Anyway, with near resolve, the team assaults the mansion again. This time through a mix of surprise, teamwork, maximizing their quasi superpowers, and Hela's quirky non-lethal weapons. They subdue Casanova Frankenstein henchmen. However, Casanova Frankenstein holds Monica hostage and activates the psychofraculator, which begins to wreak havoc upon the city. Well, it doesn't really, does it?
Well, it does a little bit for as
Well,
much as the budget can.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'd say
know,
we
but that-
get some long shots of people running.
Yeah, and a bit of smoke
Yeah.
going through. Green
But-
smoke, I
but
think it was.
But I think that was again sort of on purpose of what you would have got in the type of programs that is aping.
I'm not knocking
Yeah,
it.
I think that's what it was. I don't think it was going for a big, and also like we got the Tony P. Bowler backstory sort of played out as well, where like
Yeah.
he'd killed her father.
Yeah.
Oh, it's baby Bowler.
I just wish she said "prepared to die," as she said that.
Yeah.
And obviously, we get to find out just as they turn up in their quite cool bit of wheels that Mr. Invisible can become invisible.
Yeah, but only if no one's looking.
What I didn't get though is why his clothes fell off.
Yeah,
Because
obviously to set up a gag, but
yeah,
yeah, in all the other
Unless
things
he-
we've seen people turn invisible, their clothes don't fall off them.
yeah.
Maybe he's taking them off as he's walking.
No, they
no, they
literally
just
fell off.
drop to the
Yeah,
floor,
I
don't
know,
they?
but I think
So maybe it's like I don't know, there's some sort of quantum reason for it. Just put the word quantum in there and it'll work. Wouldn't it?
The invisible later.
Yeah,
You could have gone like phase shift or something.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
maybe
know.
they fell off as he shifted.
Maybe all his
way.
particles kind of like like in Star Trek when they get beamed up, all their particles go.
Yeah.
So he just it's only organic matter that
Yeah.
can.
I did like the
move.
bit though where he's like, I did it, and they were like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, it's cold up there, is it?
The other thing is what's his name? Blue Raja says two hands there, lad, or something like that.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, so again, everyone got to show their bits off, so to speak.
Literally, in some cases.
But but they have given it. Even Praz as the other disco boy, he got his little sort of fighty bit. Most of the heroes got to showcase. It wasn't like a lot of what I think, like a lot of superhero, films, especially like the X-Men one, the Fox X-Men ones, where it was basically everyone else was fighting, but we just followed Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to see all the people with their own quirks and what they could do.
And we also get more Austin Powers 70s kitsch type of thing with the shrink ray
Yeah.
that reduces or the female cat things or whatever they are.
Oh, the
their,
yeah,
their
or their
underwear.
hot
Yeah.
pants and whatnot. That's yeah.
there
then
was-
he's just like, I think my trousers are shrinking or something.
Yeah.
There was one bit, I can't remember who was against the wall, and they got to hit him, and the wall moves back. Which again, I was like, is that on purpose or is that? But I think it wasn't on purpose.
No, probably not.
But it was almost Cell Block H. Like,
I think you're being a bit too generous. There.
Yeah, I don't think it was. But yeah. So we've got so Monica's hostage. The psycho fraculator is wreaking havoc on the city. So the team works to disable the device, and Mr. Furious takes on Casanova Frankenstein, and actually manages to really unleash his inner rage and fight effectively for the first time. Casanova Frankenstein is thrown into the core of the psychofraculator and is killed by its reality-bending powers. The rest of the team helps the bowler to destroy the device and escape the mansion as it implodes. The team is swarmed by reporters on the outside who want to know the group's name, and as they argue possible names among themselves, one reporter states, well, whatever you call them, Champion City will forever owe a debt of gratitude to these mystery men. But all the others miss that bit, and they can still arguing about what to name the group.
With the Super Squad.
And I think the bowler's trying to plug local independent music or something at the same
Pretty
time.
much,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was off her own. She did that off her own back.
Oh, just
Yeah, ad-libbed that on the spot.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, you're right, Paul. So there's a gag there at the very end. So you all think that he's going to turn around and say, that's it, we're the mystery men. But he turns around and says, yeah, we're the super squad or something like that.
Super pals, and there's all different cheesy answers. But it was nice that Mr. Furious finally got pushed to the brink where his true power did come out.
Yeah,
and
the only thing with that, though, is, Casanova has a long fingernail. That's his weapon, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
all the
but I
things that
think
he's done. I mean, he's,
Yeah.
I suppose, they do cover that off in a bit in a way, because the nuclear magnet takes all the rings and stuff off his fingers, and
okay.
if you remember towards the beginning, he comes into the mansion and says, I don't know, he names the weapons, but remove such and such from your hand. So he's lost all his little gadgets off his rings, isn't he?
Yeah, okay.
So he's only left with his fingernail.
And then at the end, like you say, it's normally you get that team together posing moment, which you kind of get when they're coming out of the smoke and all the stuff going on behind them, but you don't really get that sort of high five all superhero bit at the end, because they're all still arguing about what to call themselves as the bowler takes the time to hog the camera and plug almost Empire Records like damn the man, save the Empire. But and then it fades to black.
And there we have it, gentlemen. The end.
Walking off into the sunlight for the sequel.
Yeah. I wish. But so we've got that. Just a couple of little side notes on that. There is a massive urban legend around the internet, so you'll probably see this in about 10 years on TikTok, Paul, that Tim Burton that Tim Burton secretly directed this film, and that King Usher was just the cover story, because he was an adverts guy, and everyone was a bit like, why have they put him in charge of this huge, big budget film? And they said the casting of Paul Rubens, who worked with Tim Burton on all the Pee-wee stuff, and Batman Returns, and the use of the Batman sets and that, chimed in with the idea. The film also had animation from a long time Burton collaborator Henry Selick, and all that. So it's like all these people he's worked with are in it. It's got to be Tim Burton and all that. But obviously, it probably wasn't.
No, I can't see
And
that.
I can't
And
see
also-
why they would not mention that Tim Burton was on it.
And also, it genuinely had a load and load of actors in it. So, you could say, it could have been Steven Spielberg, or it could have been,
And there's also another little side note. There was an episode of Friends called The One with the Screamer, where Ben Stiller is a man dating Rachel, who is basically Mr. Furious in Friends. So I don't know. So maybe Roy got another life somewhere else in New York, and met Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, that was who was Rachel, wasn't it? And yeah. So there's little bits of that, and there have been conversations where everyone in it has said that they did like it. Then there's other conversations where they all regretted making it.
Yeah,
And
so I
different
mean,
people hated each other at different
I
times.
saw a quote
and-
from I forgot the director. I've forgotten his name.
Kinker Usher.
You said, "I'm not doing this shit again. I'm going back to making short 1 minute adverts. I can't take it." So, yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't
maybe
sound
try
like
it
it was the pleasantest of shoots.
Yeah, I think for the funny people, I think they're all a little bit like aggro during it, because I think Janine Garofalo only got in on the end because she wanted to work with William H Macy,
Yeah, I saw that.
and yeah, but different people hated different people during this and all sorts of stuff. So I think it'd be more interesting if they made a film about the making of this. So, but reflections then. We'll start with you, Paul. Watching it again now, what did you think?
So I think they set up well. I guess with my critical eye on it, because we're doing a review of it.
Yeah.
It is well, why didn't it work? And I guess it's who was the target audience then? Who is it now? And if it was something like Austin Powers type humor, I kind of get it, but it's certainly not a kids' film. So, it's not going to be one that you take the kids to the cinema to see. So that's a load of the box
Yeah.
office you're not going to get back anyway. And a lot of films like this are on the selling of it to get people going to the cinemas. And I think I remember at the time, even seeing the ads when it was on Sky, thinking, it might be worth a bit of a chuckle. But I wouldn't go to the cinema to watch it. So I can.
I didn't go to watch it. It was Orange Wednesday. You turn up at the
but
cinema
exactly.
and see
That's
what's
buy
on.
one get one
Yeah.
free.
Yeah,
So I can kind of see why it did flop, because it wasn't big blockbuster action entertainment. It was alright. It was funny in some places. I don't think I actually laughed out loud, but I watched it and thought, oh, that's a bit funny. Quite like that. But it was it was didn't know for me. I don't know whether it knew what time to be in, what genre to be.
Yeah, I see
and
what you're saying.
what the target audience was. But all that aside, I watched it and it was 2 hours long. Didn't fall asleep, not like Tron, and I enjoyed it. I hands up, it wasn't the funniest film I've ever seen, but I liked watching it. William H Macy, nothing. None of them going to win an Oscar for it. Let's face it. But
Maybe Jeffrey Rush.
but I like William H Macy anyway, and him doing the role that he's he's that kind of deadpan character that's quite serious anyway, and had some nice bits in it. Even the non-lethal weapons were okay. I did get a feeling like they tried to prolong some gags a bit too much. And we've seen this before. Okay, that was funny the first time. It was all right the second time. You've done it 6 or 7 times now. And even with some of the sayings I was going to say the savant, that the Sphinx came up with when they were training, and as soon as they introduced. Again, it was funny a few times, but I was a bit like Mr. Furious at one point. It's like, all right, get over it.
I think we were supposed to be by then.
Yeah,
think the fa-
I know,
think
but
that-
even then, there's a
Yeah.
line, and they continued to cross it. But no, I think there were some really good touches in it, and it was almost like, picking up on, a lot of people that love superheroes, comic books, and all this kind of fan zones. Even the bit
I
about
mean,
them.
it's not Easter eggs, aren't there? No,
Yeah, and even the bit about them making their own costumes and things. There was some nice touches in it. But again, it all kind of seemed, it just missed something.
Yeah, I think you had a studio that didn't really know what they wanted. I agree with that. I mean, the director was an interesting choice because he hadn't made a film, and was known for advert. He was the guy that had done the Got Milk adverts. Remember when you used to see the people with like the white moustache and it would say like Got Milk? Did you ever see them? They were sort of big and like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I only remember because like Stone Cold Steve Austin done one.
Well, you're talking the US, aren't you? So
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was all the Got Milk. So he made all that. So like they drink it and everyone would have the milk moustache and it was like Got Milk and it was. Mike Tyson would have, different people, and it was sort of that was what he was known for at the time, and then they gave him that.
Yeah, I think, where it kind of maybe fell down is the likes of Austin Powers, which let's face is a superhero, is a supervillain, secret agent film. So there are similarities. That was Mike Myers that stole the show.
Yeah,
gave
it's
all the
got
lines.
It's got one character, one hero in it.
But this had loads of competing people that didn't really have a real comedic superstar.
I don't think there's necessarily any chemistry between any of the four. We'll say three at the start, but even when the rest of them come in, there's no real chemistry between any of the people that are acting out in the film.
Yeah,
they're just there because of who they are.
Yeah, and they're not really a team anyway.
No.
On screen, and you don't get that empathy or anything with them out.
I think that's the thing as well. Well, say with an Austin Powers, you had Mike Myers, and it was Mike Myers' vision and his ideas. You had that one person driving it through where the buck stops, and so you got all these people in it who all thought they were probably the star.
Quite possibly, yeah.
And it's kind of. And that's where it comes from, because all these like Greg Kinnear was always arguing with Stiller, as we talked about. So I don't know if he signed up thinking he was going to be the big star, and then realised he's in like 2 scenes.
Yeah,
he's the bookend, or whatever. I don't know if that annoyed him or whatever. I think there's all sorts of underlying politics in this. But what did you think watching it back, Damien?
So I was bored, and I think. To go back to what you said, why didn't it work? I think the reason it didn't work is because it almost goes from set piece to set piece, which also kind of reflects what the director is known for. He's got, these are the bits I've got to film for this.
See, I didn't mind that so much, because in my head it was always Batman anyway. But not the film, the film, more of the Batman TV series.
Okay, I'm with you.
Which was very,
but there wasn't a lot of meat to the bones.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's like we've got to get from this point to that point, and from that point we got to get to this point. So there's no real kind of like the diner scene towards the beginning could have been played more like they are friends to give you that chemistry between the three of them. So you actually almost. Because Mr. Fury's not a likable character from the start. But if you had a relationship forming between the three of them that they are actually friends, and rather than him just kind of bullying them into doing what they want,
and even
you
the
might
shoveler
feel a bit more.
Even the shoveler, if he was like a down and out road worker guy.
Yeah,
that there's a bit of backstory, and I know it's a comedy, so they're not going to get too much, but it's just nothing.
The closest you get is he calls him Roy, so he knows who he knows his real name. Then it's like Roy, come on, to like Mr. Furious or whatever, and the shoulder's like Roy, come on, we can do it. Okay, all right, and he kind of that's like, he knows him. You know.
And Hank Azaria. His character almost precludes him to being close to anyone.
Oh, yeah. That's just reminding me. When it did come out, some people were shocked about the shoveler's wife and kid.
Okay, well, we're not on this show.
Oh, no, but like in
Well, I did for a second on the second viewing. So when I watched it the other day, I thought for a minute I thought they were doing a me, myself, and Irene gag. So in is it me? It is me, myself.
That was after, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
Jim
That's what I mean. I'm not saying either one was copying either, but I thought they were setting up the same gag, which is Jim Carrey has got his 3 sons who are clearly not his sons.
Yeah. My name is Earl as well.
Yeah. So I was thinking that's the gag they were going for, but it's not. I think it's just
it's just the fact.
It's just casting, and that's it. And you shouldn't think any more of it.
But that was, I remember, I was just saying, I was just popped into my head at the time. Yeah, but sorry, carry on. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
So yeah, no, that's fine. So yeah, my opinion is I did get bored because there was no real structure to what was going on in it. It's just set piece to set piece.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Disco Boys could have had more in there.
Mhm.
It's like,
Especially because suddenly you get the sudden backstory of, is that the bowler?
yeah,
You know,
just
and
anything. You know, like we've called them the Disco Boys. We've got a disco room, and they wear high heels. That's it. It's almost like they're trying to cash in on that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, on the
Austin
theme of the
Powers,
time,
yeah, whatever, yeah.
and not give it any real. You know, just even if you just had them doing a dance routine. I mean, I normally hate all that sort of stuff.
I know,
But
Eddie son does get a dance.
he
routine.
get on his
does it
own,
done.
but you know, like,
Although,
yeah.
although the weird thing about it as well, though, is I can't remember which of them the mystery men say it, but it's like well, it could have been Hank Azaria, but like you're not even using your name. You know, you don't even have a gold chain.
yeah,
that
Oh,
you
yeah,
swing
yeah, yeah.
around.
Question
It's
mark.
like, yeah, it's not wrong. You know, if you had a Disco Boys, then
Yeah.
ham it up a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they could have one of their weapons could have been a disco ball.
Yeah,
On the
exactly,
end
on
of
a
the chain or
chain.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was bored, to be perfectly honest. But maybe it's just because of how that would be done now. Like, you know, almost not necessarily comparing it to the boys, because that's a
Yeah.
different take on it, because they weren't trying to, you know, go against the superhero
Yeah.
thing like the boys are. But I don't know. I think it's just we've moved on so much with how.
That genre's
stuff is
moved on as
portrayed.
well. And yeah,
Yeah.
no, I see what you're saying
So,
there.
you know, but if you put like a 1999 head on, I think I remember at the time having the same thing. It's good, but I didn't warm to any of the characters really that much. And I've got to be honest, I'm not Ben Stiller's biggest fan either. So, you know, the
No,
first
for me, when
Zoolander, I
he's
found
good, he's
amusing.
good, and when he's not, he's not. For
Yeah.
me, it's probably Zoolander and Tropic Thunder. I'm trying to think of anything else he's been in that I can't remember now.
No,
He
exactly.
got killed in Miami Vice. He was a drug lord's son. That's probably the main ones for me. There's probably another one I would probably watch, but Zoolander I thought was good because again it was a bit like this, and it created its own weird, unique world, and it kind of worked. But the other people were also the reason it was good. Will Ferrell as Magottu and Owen Wilson as Hansel, and all, you know they created a weird. Actually, it's probably similar in
Yeah.
a similar way to this. I
Yeah.
would say, actually, thinking about it.
I think it's one of those things you either like it or you don't. And
But later on, not long after this, they did a. Well, I say not long after it. It's probably within 10 years now. My luck. They did a superhero movie, which was the scary movie. You know, like,
Yeah.
they did not another teen movie. No, they did the superhero, which bombed and it had Leslie Nielsen in and all that as well. And it just that went nowhere with that
Yeah.
type of humor. That done worse than this did.
yeah, well,
I bet the budget
everything had
wasn't as
moved on
big.
by that point.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch Airplane now, and it is funny. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't work now. It's like we find like things like Police Squad. No, he's been taken to the hospital. There's something wrong with him. What is it? It's a big building with patients. We
Yeah.
find it. We laugh at it because of the memory of
Memory of it,
laughing at
yeah.
it, not necessarily
Because that's
because it's funny now. It just isn't. Well, it is, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Comedy moves on.
Yeah.
Go on then, Brett.
And you got to move on. Again, nothing different to what you guys said, really. I thought it was good. I thought it was a mess in places. It's one of those, you know, like what could have been. And part of me was always had that idea that maybe there was a lot more of it on the cutting room floor, which there probably was. But most of that seems to be everyone trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
So it's just like.
I don't think you can trot out your usual studio interference excuse.
Oh no, I
on
don't think
this
there was
one.
shit. I think this one was more. They just didn't know what they were doing with it or what they wanted. They put a guy in. We're going to make this. You know, everyone was buying up independent comic things because they could. They got the Flaming Carrot, who doesn't even appear in it, but they used all the backup
Yeah.
characters. So that was a bit weird to start with. But they bought it up. They chucked a film out. Thought people would like it. They got a guy in who was trendy at the time, I guess, and thought, hey, he knows. He's got his finger on the pulse, and they put him on it. and about halfway through, I think he'd had enough. I think probably just dealing with all the ego on set, maybe, let alone just the making of the thing. And it's just one of those, like I say, I think it was ahead of its time. I think if you had something like that now that was done in the right way, I think you could probably make big bucks off it at the moment.
I don't know.
I don't even know if you could, because the problem now is that
Not so much like that, but like a modern version of, like a modern, like I say, it's moved on. But if they did something like that now, where it was but then we've got all the parodies now.
Yeah.
Like I say, you've got your boys. You've got I haven't watched yet that one you're on about that's on Disney Plus where they
all have powers.
and all stuff like that. I mean, we even had which wasn't too. I didn't think it was that bad, but it got cancelled after a season. It was the one where. Oh, what was it called? Was it Powers? I think it was called Powers. It was set in the DC universe, but it was like the company that have to sort everything out, and it had Danny Pudi from Abed from Community in it, and the girl from High School Musical,
2 things I've never watched. So
and a few other people. So you had all like these like C-list characters would pop up and stuff, but it was them like trying to deal with all the crap that was left behind after, like, Superman had trashed Doomsday or something, and it was a comedy kind of thing, but that was almost like a parody of it all, and them having to deal with all the bits after. So yeah, it probably has been done now, and there's different things out there. So it was I think it was ahead of its time for what it was, though, because back then, especially general public, wouldn't have got half of the things in that. They would have got Batman, maybe the Superman bit with the glasses, but Batman was only. I'm trying to think. Were there other? Did we have many others? Maybe was Blade out by then?
yeah, Blade was like 96, 97, I think.
Yeah, so maybe Blade, but then that was vampire-y more than superhero-y. You had the Batman film.
We'd had Daredevil by that point, I think.
Maybe Daredevil. Yeah, well,
I thought that was early 2000.
I might be. I'm guessing.
But just guess. Yeah, just trying to think whatever else might have been around at that time with that. But
we had the one with Billy Zane in
the
in his
Phantom.
lycra.
Yeah.
The Phantom. Well, there you go. But yeah, and it was still
Had the Rocketeer.
and you had there was the 1990. This is 99. You had the sort of those Marvel films when they didn't have a budget yet.
Yeah.
Some of them were still coming out. You had David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury at one point. There was a Captain America and all that. But yeah, I just think it was ahead of its time for what it was as far as the general audience is concerned. You had a studio that didn't really know what they had or what to do with it.
The director didn't know what to do.
The director
with it.
was just overwhelmed by it all, I think, and just tried to do the best he could. And a bunch of people that probably all thought they were the stars.
Maybe there's a problem as well. If they've had a big director, they would have laid the law down. Yeah,
slapped them all in line a bit, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That does come across on the screen. The egos, if you like, but that can't be blamed for them not having any
chemistry. Oh no,
but that can be blamed for them not having the chemistry, but it can't be blamed for the fact that the script doesn't actually.
But if
with the characters,
if it's got to a point where they just turn up,
no, the script is written well before.
No, but I mean, but your delivery of the script.
Yeah, but there isn't anything in the script that kind of gives them a friendship. It just gives them these 3 guys know each other.
It might it might be if they cared a bit more about it, they might have put a bit more effort in themselves, and because you got a lot of people there that have got ad lib skills. You know what I mean? They're all pretty much from.
Yeah, but it's all kind of second guessing because a lot of directors say, "No, you're reading the script."
Yeah,
that's true. I don't imagine at that point he was probably just happy to get a take.
Yeah,
without anyone eating each other or moaning or stomping off, and it was like, but yeah, okay then. So we're all kind of at the similar thing. Then it was all right for what it was. I'd say ahead of its time, but behind on its ideas, maybe, or behind on its control of itself. Because I think it just
don't get what you're saying there, but
control. I know. I couldn't think of something that was behind. Right, out of 10 then, Paul.
So I'm going to give this 5.8.
Ooh.
Because I don't think it's worthy of a 6, but 5 just doesn't feel right, or 5.5 doesn't feel right. Because I did watch it all the way through, and I wasn't thinking to myself, "Oh, I wish this ends now." I think, as I mentioned, there's some bits where I thought it's going on a bit long for this scene, or they're drawing this out a bit too much, or whatever, or some of the other stuff we talked about. But I think it was all right.
Cool. Damien?
I'm going to give it a 4. I was bored.
So it is your favourite superhero movie?
It could quite possibly be that, yeah. I was bored, to put simply. I've enjoyed talking about it more than I enjoyed watching it. And that's because, and that goes back to it's almost 2 hours of sketches. That you can, so you look at one piece in isolation, and I found that funny, but as an entire film, I just
clunky.
It just kind of plodded along and nothing was. It was disjointed. So 4.
No, I'm going to go a little bit more. I'm going to go 6. Only probably just for what it was trying to do. And I did enjoy it. It wasn't a brilliant film. Is it in my top 10? No. But I enjoyed it. You can put it on. And it deserves an extra point for I Got a Date with Destiny and Shaun of the Lobster. Whatever it was. But, it had its moments. It tried. It failed. But I like the fact that it tried. And
I'm glad I only rented it as opposed to buying it. I saved myself £2.
Yeah,
I paid £3, and I don't think Jeffrey Rush had this much fun again until he met Jack Sparrow.
This is true.
What I mean? He's. I kind of want to see a
it would have got
Frankenstein.
I would have given it a higher score if he'd have been in it more.
Do you reckon he got Prince of Thieves? Well, they just cut all his stuff out because he was better than them, and they didn't
Quite
like
possibly.
It. That kind of. I can imagine some of them going there and going, we don't need that bit. No, but that bit was really, no, put more of that bit when I did this in.
Yeah.
And all that. I bet he had all that to do with poor bloke. Okay, then. So what's that? It was about an average of about 5 then. Was that?
I wasn't.
Probably
5.
5.5.
It's what I think I'm going to do is, and it's going to take me a while to do this, so don't expect it next week.
Leaderboard.
I will. I'll go back through all the episodes and just put it all in a
get the average,
spreadsheet and then see.
Yeah.
No, I won't do the average. I'll just do the add
Yeah.
up. That be out of 30, but see where these films start sitting in
That'd be quite
in
interesting, actually.
Yeah. So we'll add that. So this is actually put Mystery Men has gone above
Yeah.
Miracle Mile. Actually, the one I can think of we've done now, but just keep a little.
No, cool.
I won't
like
go down
that.
the route of like printing out
League tables.
league
and
tables
tag.
and the old World Cup things I used to get with the Match magazine.
Okay, well, that brings Mystery Men episode 86 to a conclusion then. Well, now we look ahead to episode 87. And as you know, we all take turns picking the films. There are vetoes if we want to play them, but no one has done yet because we're hardcore. And Damien, it's your choice.
It's my choice, and I am going to take you back to 1984.
Good year.
Uh-oh.
A good year for films.
Good year for film.
Am I going to the Catskills to learn to dance?
No. If I say the names Daniel Stern, I'm sure John Goodman's in it as well, but he's not listed here, but I'm sure he is. Anyway,
It's not the one I hope it is it?
I don't know. What do you hope it is?
If it's John Goodman and it's about 1984, I'm hoping he's a coach.
No.
Ah,
I am going to make you watch Chud.
Chud. I forgot he was even in that. I was
Yeah.
thinking of Revenge of the Nerds.
No. I'm sure he's in Chud. He's not listed, but maybe it's such a small part that he's...
He probably wouldn't. He was just about anyone then. Even at Revenge of the Nerds, he's like at the bottom of the
Yeah.
credits.
But he's definitely in the diner scene anyway, so...
Chud.
Chud, 1984, science fiction horror film directed by Douglas Cheek.
And where is Chud available on?
Oh, that's a good point. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's free if you've got Prime.
Cool. Well, there we go. So if you're playing at home in the UK, it's on Amazon Prime. It's available elsewhere worldwide. Okay, then. So that's next week. So we just need to round up this week now. Just like to thank you for listening again. If you are listening to us on your podcast apps, please rate and review us. It really does make a big difference to us and helps us climb out the ratings out of the obscurity that, like these movies, we find ourselves in. If you want to get hold of us anytime, you can email the podcast at
cultfactionpodcast@mail.com. Sorry,
Okay.
I thought you were hesitating there.
Yeah.
No,
And
I was
then-
just looking up Chud because it rang a bell, and then I saw the poster on IMDb and thought, okay, yeah, no, I know this one now.
Yeah, it's classic.
And we are available on all social media apps. You can get us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and some of the other ones as well. And if you want to catch up all the main stuff, though, the mothership of our existence is at.
Cultfaction.com.
So check it out there. So drop us an email, share us, rate us, review us, tell us what we should be watching, tell us what we shouldn't be watching, and yeah,
Tell us why we're wrong.
and tell us always tell us why we're wrong. You like doing that, right? So it's a goodbye from me, Brett Summers.
It's goodbye from me, Paul Hawkins.
And it's a goodbye from me, Damien Hicks.
And we'll see you in the future in episode 87.
Enjoy the lobster.
It's a mystery. Oh, it's a mystery. I'm still searching for a clue. It's a mystery.
Do, do, do. No.
Yeah, stop there.
Have you seen Madonna recently?
Yeah,
She hasn't
I
popped
saw-
round
saw-
as
I
much
saw-
as she used to.
I saw her in the co-op the other day.
You're right. You fucking bastard.
Oh, I saw something the other day. It's like a theory George Harrison went around in the 60s saying that Paul,
Oh, Paul McCartney was dead.
yeah, he'd been killed. It's like what?
How have you only just heard about that?
Yeah, I don't know. How?
How have... Seriously?
That was the Abbey Road cover. Have you done a stinky bum fart,
Yeah,
you bastard? And I've got a cold as well.
and you can still smell it.
Yep. It
I had
just
sprouts.
lingered. It just lingered in. I was like, I know that scent.
10 sprouts will do that.
Motherfucker.